Yeah, man. Ababa TV every time. Saying, so you know me I say, stay tuned, don't change the dial. Baba TV every time. Fire!
Dear Lord, if I strength so I can work to achieve my bread. Dear Lord, every day I'm working towards the roof over my head. Dear Lord, please guide and protect the little children. Dear Lord, them trick them already, but me no one listen to.
Peace and Black Power. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV, House of Consciousness. It's my absolute pleasure always to be in the company of the Blue Pill, KTL Empowerment, or Ocean Corp. Shout out the sea moss drink. This is the master at that. You can't even taste the sea moss by the time you get through with it, and it's a very healthy drink. I tried to concoct it myself and still couldn't get it right. He gave me the ingredients and everything. I still couldn't get it right. Brad Pill, did you go see the movie 1804? It was 1804. Talk a little bit about that.
Peace, love, and light. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to my brother Baba TV. Fire every time. 1804 was an amazing film. You know what I'm saying? It was an amazing continuation in the pantheon of films that brother Tariq Nasheed has brought forward. Irrespective of the criticism that people say, you know, this film didn't have this in it, this film didn't have that in it. Look, it was the right film at the right time. Okay, it was the right film at the right time to remind us, right, for those of us who know and may have forgotten, and to educate those who had no clue as to the importance of the Haitian Revolution. What exactly was the Haitian Revolution about? What went into the Haitian Revolution? The no compromise attitude that you have to have for a revolution. You understand? So it was the right movie at the right time, and it was expertly done. Especially the reenactments, or when they was mercilessly taking them adversarial forces off this planet. So yeah, man, it was an amazing amazing display of a chapter of our history that's often neglected, not spoken of enough. You know, the colonial powers definitely are not going to highlight the importance of the Haitian Revolution and the way that it aided and abetted independent revolutions and revolts in other parts of the Americas, you know, but that's our job, you know what I'm saying? And it's independent melanated black media. The brother, again, he has added on another chapter, you know what I'm saying? He has opened up another road. He has opened up another line of conversation and communication for us to be able to talk about us and our greatness, the ups and the downs of it, because that story is not just a glorious one. You know what I'm saying? It also has tragic elements to it. So we had the opportunity, you know, to partake in a thorough lesson, you know what I'm saying? And the pluses and the minuses, you know what I'm saying? And for those of us who are liberation minded, we're able to take what we need, you know what I'm saying, and walk away and be like, all right, peace, God, you know, and you get to see in real time the work that needs to be done, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what I respect, most importantly, about 1804 movie.
Did they go into the different because you know you got a lot of different mixed groups over there. I forget how many different classifications that they got based on gradations of color and how they run the military and so forth.
Yeah, he definitely went into the mulatto element that is the underpinning political spectrum and economical spectrum of Haiti to this very day. You know what I'm saying? The brother definitely touched on that. You know, he threw a curveball in there, you know, hit him with a jab and everything. but it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at that, and we have to understand. You know, when it comes down to it, especially when it comes to revolution, it's going to be about the allegiance, right? That's why this conversation right now that this country's having is so important. Who do you pledge your allegiance to? They're taking roll call. You know what I'm saying? They want to see what shit really looks like out here. You know, because they might be shaking in their boots, so they want to see what's really good. In the case of Haiti, it's the same thing. Who do you pledge your allegiance to? Because when you have mulatto children, you automatically, you know what I'm saying, you have this issue at hand. You know, is the allegiance to the mother, okay, the mother country, or is the allegiance to the father country? And then when you mix those allegiances, how does it balance out? So the fairer skinned Haitian has always had a hand up in terms of being part of the power elite, because the colonizers are always going to put the keys in the hands of their children before they put it in the hands of their slaves, quote unquote. You know, so they've always had the advantage, and it continues to this day. And that actually he showed right after the revolution. That's what curtailed a full level of independence immediately after that, because the people who were still in power, the power elite, the fairer skinned Haitians on the island, they didn't want to relinquish that level of control to the quote unquote commoners, you know what I'm saying, to the farmers, to the darker African Haitians on the island. Okay? So there's politics involved, you know what I'm saying? There's politics involved in that situation, and there's been politics involved in a lot of other situations dealing with revolution when you have these mixed ideologies and these mixed allegiances.
And that's interesting too. I was talking about that earlier. You don't see the lighter ones come here because they don't like America, because they lump all of us together. And there's an old saying that I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than to be a small fish in a big pond. So you don't really, you see the original Haitians come over, but you don't see they do better over there because they play the color game and they benefit most from the color game over there. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. When I used to spend time in Miami, that dynamic still existed in Miami, you know, not necessarily amongst the Zoes, but in their pockets, in their communities, you know, the Haitian elite still have power, and they still exert that power even when they come over here. Even if you think about Papa Doc, you know what I'm saying, and his regime, in a way that, you know, the U.S. was able to install a puppet regime and utilize, you know, all of the trinkets and the gifts for them to play this game that they continuously play. So it's the same thing. Like, it's a perfect example. If you just take that snapshot of time and history, that's exactly how they've always done in Haiti, you know what I'm saying, with their children, with the children of the oppressor, all right, the mulatto.
Talk a little bit further on the issue with Waka Flocka, because I heard you on Brother Rich's channel the other day, and it was good. I love what I saw and heard with you and Brother Super Nova.
I mean, it's an interesting conversation, even to juxtapose with this conversation that we're having now about the Haitian Revolution, you know, and things of that nature, especially as it ties into the Louisiana Purchase. Because if you want to look at the indigenous aspects of the quote-unquote natives in America, you need to look no further than Louisiana, okay? You look no further than Louisiana. And of course, you know, that also plays into what we're talking about in regards to the Creole dynamic that not only seeped into to Haiti, but it also seeped into to New Orleans and surrounding areas. But prior to that, you know, you had the Washita, you had the Yamasee, you had a lot of indigenous cultures in that region. You know what I'm saying? You have what they say is the oldest indigenous culture in this country, originating out of that area that's around Poverty Point. Okay. You have all of this indigenous culture around the Mississippi Delta that predates slavery, okay? So the conversation that we had on Brother Rich, again, anytime that I'm conversing or opening my mouth is never to widen the gulf between our people, is to bring us closer together. You know what I'm saying? And my only interest was saying, look, there is a history here that's not being discussed. Now, we can't forego our ancestors and our forefathers and our foremothers just because we've been led a slice of history and told this is what happened, this is how it happened, this is the only thing that happened. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. We're going to be disrespecting our ancestors if we allow ourselves to be indoctrinated with that version of somebody else's truth, okay? Of which they clearly have their own political reasonings for putting you under that spell. And if I got to explain that to you at this particular point, then, you know, we're far removed from the conversation. But it's about land at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's about land. It's about stolen land. It's about them not wanting to relinquish the stolen land to the natural inheritance of the land. So what better way but to divert you and send you on a goose hunt and be like, look, you need to go over there. You know what I'm saying? That's where you from. You know, your mind is on another continent while your feet is over here. How could you ever get anything done? You feel me? So we were having that conversation in that particular vein, and I definitely acknowledge the fact that Waka Flocka, like other brothers who I have known personally who come into this amount of information or this bit of information, they have this aversion suddenly towards terminology and people that are associated with the terminology, and that's not the way that you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you my brother irregardless of whether you identify yourself as Negro, Black, or colored. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna wave a RBG flag. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna be front line with my family. I'm not gonna abandon my people where they're at for perceived quote unquote lack of knowledge. You understand? So I don't like the way that the information embodies itself in people's psychology, and they think, you know, oh, does it mean that you better than somebody else because you can trace your roots here indigenously? We both got raped. We both got murdered. We both got pillaged. We both got L's, you know what I'm saying, life-size L's on our backs. We both have a need for remedy and redress from our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? There's no glory in one over the other. You understand? We're both in a position where our history has been taken from us. Our land has been taken from us. Our dignity has been, you know, encroached upon, trespassed upon, if you will. You know what I'm saying? We both need, you know, deep levels of therapy. You understand? Like, you ever been to a reservation? You know? So we were just making the point that the plain Indian reservation that they continuously show you in Hollywood is not the quote unquote Indian, you know what I'm saying, who was native to these lands. And especially not the only one, especially not the one on the East Coast. The one on the East Coast looked like you and he looked like me. You understand? And that's just what it is. You know, but again, that's not to say that one person is better than another, and that's not to say that we don't share commonality or space or kinship with family that came here as quote unquote slaves on slave ships. Okay? When you put everybody in one pot, just like you were saying with the Haitians, you know, the fair-skinned Haitians over in Haiti, you put everybody in one pot, and then everybody has to have the same history, and that's not the way. You know what I'm saying? That's just not true. You know what I mean? But this conversation is not for divisive purposes. Dig what I'm saying? This conversation is for nothing else. My whole thing is this. Just like Haiti, they had to understand why, you know, you wanted to be liberated for what? You know what I'm saying? What was what was the cause? Okay, I'm being oppressed by my oppressor. I don't like these living conditions. I need to get this oppressor up off of me. But when they gained freedom, they stayed in Haiti. You understand? They had a level of appreciation for that land to say, look, I've brought my, you know, my ancestor worship here. You know, my family's here. We fought for this place. So we're not abandoning it. They didn't jump on ships and go back to Africa, and they still identify themselves as Africans. You understand? The Brazilians have a large population, the second largest population of Africans outside of the diaspora. They're not going back to Africa. They're populating that region of the planet, and they're making it more African because it's conducive to who they are and what they are based on the environment, the tropical environment. You understand? So if we're here in the Americas and we're being pushed and pressed upon by this European, you understand? And we're pushing back for what? For dignity? We're pushing back for what? For a claim to the land? Because that's what he's pushing for. You understand? He's pushing back. He's pushing to say, look, I'm an American. This is the definition of America, such and such. Y'all don't fit in that definition. You know what I'm saying? And we're coming and we're saying, no, but, you know, our people built this, but our people died. So you having one conversation in one part of the day, and in the next part of the day, you switching up your conversation. You understand? And you continuously reminding him that you're not from here and you have no claim to the land. You know what I'm saying? As if you don't want to be here. So you really have to, in your mind, figure out what it is that you're fighting for at the end of the day. There's a lot of different conversations taking place simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? So people got to get on whatever side of the conversation that they belong, and you got to master that narrative at the end of the day. Bottom line, I could be with my shit, it could be popping off in Sierra Leone, Libya, Nigeria, wherever I'm at physically with my people, that's where I want to help defend and fight that fight. You know what I'm saying? It just so happens that I am here in New York City in the Americas, and we got a fight that we need to fight right here. You know what I'm saying? So we need to stabilize this situation, and then we could go other places and hold them down. So for my people that are so connected to the diaspora, I just want to remind you of how many conflicts are taking place on the diaspora right now, and they need your help and they need your assistance because it is the U.S. government that got their foot on their necks right now. They just showed you with the secret missions that they got in Niger. You know how many other secret missions that they have in the motherland? So why are you not petitioning this government? Why are you not marching on D.C.? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not in front of Trump Tower?
I have to owe you one, man.
Okay. It's all good. Why are you not arduously fighting to protect our family in the diaspora, you know what I'm saying, on the continent? Because that's what brotherhood is about. You know what I'm saying? Are you your brother's keeper? You your brother's keeper wherever you find your brother at. You need to go over to 116th and start relationships with Little Africa. You need to go in other places. We need to be, you know what I'm saying, more accommodating and welcoming to the Africans that are right here, right on 125th Street, the Senegalese, the Ghanaian brothers. You know what I'm saying? The people from Burkina Faso. Like, let's not just be having these arguments for argument's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's really be about that. You understand? Because this is not how Africans treat one another. That's what I'm saying.